You guys know I've been absolutely loving Etheria Restart. There is a lot to love. But maybe my number one favorite thing in this game is the quality of the SR units. If you're coming from other games, these are your base 4 stars or your epic units. They're the second highest rarity, but oh my god, so many of them feel like they're better than many members of the highest rarity. You'll see I've already collected 8 SSRs, but some of them I haven't even built yet because I only need the very best couple for whatever I'm working on at a specific moment because I lean on these SRs so hard. So many of them have special unique kits, they're easier to build, and they slap, or they're hard carry, amazing healer, phenomenal support. Without further ado, let's get right into it because I'm excited to tell you about these guys. These are the 6 SR units that are must builds. You should use them the second you get them built up, and take full advantage. We are just going to go in order down this archive gallery here, and we're kicking it off with the first one, who I honestly think is the best SR in the game. That's not a very hot take. I'll show you after I break it down. Everyone is using Marvell everywhere. First off, he is constant for his affinity, aka he is a light unit, meaning he is a neutral affinity. So when it comes to dealing with the 3 main affinities here, Reason, Odd, and Hollow, aka red, blue, and green, he doesn't have to deal with that whole mess. It just makes everything phenomenal, especially when you see how his kit ruins everything for the other team. Let's start right away with his skill 2, his E, his ultimate. Stasis Strike here. This is an AoE hit with a 100% chance to land decreased speed and decrease effect resistance. That is just not a thing that exists anywhere else in this game. 100% debuffs are very rare in Etheria. There's always a chance. It's never 100%. But with that speed drop and with that resistance drop, it is 100%. So all you have to do on Marvell is build him quick, build him with effect accuracy. You can lean heavy into it. You can do effect accuracy main stats, and he will carry you to the promised land because he slows the other team down, and he makes it so much easier for your team to land their debuffs after he goes because the other team's resist is in the toilet. On top of that, he has a 60% chance to drop all of the enemies because remember, this is an AoE hit. He's going to drop all of the enemies' turn meter by 50%. Cut that thing in half. That is amazing. The rest of the kit's really good too. So his skill 1 over here, his W, it's a single target hit. Hits kind of hard, but you're not going to build him that way. It lands a debuff called Silence. This is essentially a lockout. It forces your enemy under this debuff to only be able to use their basic attack. And usually, that's the thing you don't care much about. His basic attack, though, you kind of do care about. It comes with a 50-50 chance to steal a quarter of the target's turn meter. So you knock them down, and then you pull his turn meter up. He just fully steals it, takes it for himself, and then it's really easy to keep him cycling. And eventually, work back to his E over here, Stasis Strike. This skill 2, completely busted. Final thing, I just want to prove it to you, Marvell is used everywhere. Nico Nana, the hardest Grim Pursuit I can do. If you go over here, the hardest level anyone's ever cleared, hell, wouldn't you know it, Marvell, 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 Marvell. You're going to hear me saying Marvell, 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 Marvell a lot of times. Now on to Threshold, the most important thing once you get deeper in the game. This is where you get your modules, aka your gear. You're going to see Marvell is usable in every single one of these dungeons. Terramaton, wouldn't you know it, Marvell, Marvell, Marvell. Doki Doki, wouldn't you know it, the fastest clears out there. There's a Marvell. Aurora, Hell 4, the hardest level anyone's cleared so far on the open beta. Marvell, Marvell, Marvell. But finally, before we move on, let's talk about the thing people are most excited about in Etheria. It is the amazing arena, and it's the Marvell show. Marvell, 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 Marvell. These are the top teams in the whole server. Marvell, 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 Marvell. You get it. On to the next one now. We don't have to go too far. We're going to talk about Diting. To be seen how amazing Diting is in the late game, but for the early game and the mid game, Diting is completely busted. Once again, he is a light dark unit. They call it Disorder. He's a dark unit, really important for your dungeon farming and stuff, or your union bosses. We don't care about affinity because he's Disorder, so that helps a lot. And he's got this crazy passive, Exclusive Mark. It's to be seen how good Diting will be in the late game, but for the early game and mid game, he is just easy mode because he is not stat hungry. You don't even need to worry much about crit. This passive, he's going to start each turn with 60% additional crit rate. As your builds get better and better and you don't need that much crit rate, any excess over the 100% crit cap will be converted into crit damage, and this guy slaps. Don't believe me? Let's go to the E, to the ultimate, power shot. He's going to snipe a single target by hitting for 450% damage, and on top of that, when the move's done, he goes directly into his basic attack. This basic attack deals another 260% additional damage, and if you choose to build him with effect accuracy, he lands a 2-turn vulnerable debuff. This is just increased damage taken for the target. So he increases the damage taken, and then whenever he ults, he's going to do the ult directly into the basic. I mean, let's add that up. 450 plus 260, 710% damage. Truly, he slaps. So that does it for the light dark units for our constant and our disorder. Let's go to our first of 3 green units over here, aka hollow affinity units, and we have Sania. You might have seen Shadow Sania, the SSR dark unit, disorder unit. You might be hoping for her and get disappointed when you're stuck with the epic version, the SR version. You should not be disappointed. This is the best SR Animus healer we have. She's freaking awesome. It starts with the passive. Dewy Essence over here. At the end of every turn, she is going to heal the 2 allies with the lowest HP percentage by 16% of her max HP, not the target ally. Much better that way. And she cleanses off 1 debuff from them. So the 2 allies that are most vulnerable, they have the lowest health, maybe they have some debuffs on them, she's going to heal them by her HP, and she's going to cleanse a debuff. Moreover, as Sania's HP gets lower and lower, her heals get stronger and stronger. Her ultimate, her E over here, this is a 3-turn cooldown, but if you use it as a revive, it's a 5-turn cooldown. It's really nice to have that optionality though. You can see it's a single target support move. She applies 1 stack of this buff over here, all powerful protection to a target ally, and she heals that target ally by 20% of their max HP. Now, what does that buff do? It increases that ally's HP permanently by 20%, and it cannot be removed. So you're just making your vulnerable ally tankier. Then the special condition, this can be used as a revive, except it increases the cooldown from 3 turns to 5 turns. The basic here, really simple. She deals a little damage. Who cares? The key thing, though, when she's done, she increases her own turn meter by 30%, so it becomes a lot easier to cycle, take more turns, trigger the passive, and then come back around to the amazing ultimate, the E, Forest Heart. Next up, right next to Sania, we have Gray. Gray might not seem sexy to you guys because he's one of your starter units, but I promise you, he's still that good. We should be thanking Etheria Restart for giving him to us for free, not think less of him because he's free. So let's start with his W, his skill 1. This thing is clean, it's simple, it's amazing. He starts his turn, he does an AoE 30% increased crit rate for everybody, and then he immediately jumps into his next turn. This is a great buff. It makes all your builds easier, and as you're going to see with his kit, he's way better when he's critting. And that starts right here with his skill 2, his E, Lightning Speed. He's going to do a big AoE hit for 220% damage. Doesn't sound that good, right? It gets better. If he crits, he deals an extra 120% damage, so that's 340% total. That's pretty good. And he inflicts a decreased defense AoE debuff. That is a 60% defense break. And like my boy Marvell, once he's skilled up, there's a 100% chance he lands that. It starts off at 80, which is pretty cool. But once it gets to 100, like I said, it's hard to get a lot of debuffs in this game, landing 100% of the time. This is really cool. Finally, his basic, pretty similar to Sania. It deals some damage, which is nice, but the key thing is if and when he crits, he gains at the end of his turn 25% of his turn meter back. This is a turn-based game, so we want to get those turns flying through. This works us back to the skill 1, the W, and the skill 2, the E. This Thunderous Roar into Lightning Speed is an amazing combination. It helps the whole team with some big buffing and some big debuffing. All right, we have reached my second favorite. It's a simple kit again. It's another hollow affinity unit. We got a green girl over here, Chalky the Echo. Don't get her confused with Chalky. There's Chalky the not Echo. She's okay, but she's certainly not the Echo. What makes the Echo so special? Well, let's start with the skill 2, the E. Bright Melody, I freaking love this thing. We want to hit the enemy harder, so what does this do? It makes us go faster, 20% turn meter boost for everyone, and then she puts a 2-turn increase attack on everyone, plus 40% attack. But she drops off another buff as well, Ave Maria. This is a specific buff to her. It makes those allies immune to steal turn meter effects and turn meter decrease effects. And on top of that, when an ally's turn ends while wearing this buff, that ally will boost the turn meter of all allies by 5%. So she turns her allies into turn meter boosters and makes them immune to having their turn meter stolen. So let's say you're going up against a Marvell or some annoying turn meter dropper in Arena in any kind of PvP. As long as you have a speedy Chalky the Echo, you can get the jump on them and you will cruise through the battle. We've got the passive now, Violin Inspiration. This is a simple passive, and it just keeps the buffs from Bright Melody going. Basically, at the start of her turn, 3 random allies, that is a lot, that's nearly everybody, will get a new increased attack, and if they already have it, they'll get a new Ave Maria instead. So you're just the best parts of her kit, they keep coming. Finally, a very simple basic here. This is just a single target move, deals a little damage, but afterwards, she's going to cleanse 1 debuff from the ally that is currently under the most debuffs. So she helps the ally that needs the help the most. I freaking love Chalky the Echo. Finally, our last SR Animus that's going to rock your freaking world. Also, she's kind of hot. We have got Dinah. She is Reason Affinity, aka a red affinity Animus. And this kit is so good. And if you pair it nicely with other characters, it is a whole nother level. So let's actually start over here with the skill 2 with her E, Pristine Cleaver. This is a pretty nice hitting AoE, but the key thing is the debuffs. There are 3 different awesome debuffs she can put out here. It's possible she gets them all out. And imagine if she goes after someone like Marvell, it's just so much easier because the res is low. So you can actually lean a little heavier into her DPS because her DPS is pretty good. So what does she do? She does an AoE hit of 70% damage to all enemies, but it's a quad hitter. First, she has a 40% chance with each hit to land a defense break, and that's going to last 2 turns. Once that's up, though, or if it's already up, then she's going to try to land a 2-turn vulnerable. Right? That's increased damage taken. So if the decreased defense by 60% is already there, or she lands it at the beginning, you move on to the vulnerable. That is increased damage taken by 30%. If that's already there, or she lands it and has more hits to go, then finally she moves on to her chance to land 2 stacks of erosion. What is erosion? Well, when the enemy takes the next instance of critical damage, it will consume 1 stack, and this causes that hit to additionally deal 60% true damage, and that scales off of the attacker, not off of Dinah. So if that leads into your very best attackers, that is a big burst of true damage, and on top of that, after the turn, that attacker will get a 10% turn meter boost. This special debuff erosion applies to all your allies except for Dinah, but it's really, really good. And if you have a really good DPS to pair with her and maybe a couple other good debuffers, like you had Marvell go before to lower the res, or maybe you had Gray go before to already put out the decreased defense, so we're jumping straight to the vulnerable and then the erosion, you can see how her kit is really amazing. Her skill 1 here, the W Blade Torrent, this is a pretty hard-hitting single target move, but again, the key thing is the debuff, and the debuff here is erosion. Each one of those hits has an 80% chance to inflict 2 stacks of erosion, and a very cool thing, if when she goes to hit that target, they're currently under no stacks, she can go straight to 3 stacks. She can put up 3 stacks of erosion. Remember, these are only consumed 1 at a time when another attacker hits the target with a crit. Finally, her basic, a bit similar to Marvell, it is a nice hit with a turn meter steal. She hits for 240% damage to a single enemy, and then she's got a 40% chance to steal 25% of their turn meter, and that's awesome. There are so many other good SRs in this game. These epic base 4-star quality characters. There's so many good animuses in this game to explore. I can't wait for the global launch. If you're already playing on the open beta, definitely check all these guys out. If you're watching this in the future, let me know how you're enjoying all of them on the global release. These are must builds. These are can't miss SRs. Essentially, they are SSRs in disguise. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have been Fastidious. I'm going to be covering Etheria Restart all the time. So if you like my stuff, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.